play is important. Play is plenty. I mean,
Ben, thank you so much for the time. I really appreciate it.
it's a pleasure.
Honestly, The Magic Faraway Tree is such a sweet and magical film, no pun intended. And I know it's stemming from Enid Blyton's classic books. But why did you feel like you wanted to tell those stories now?
The Magic Faraway Tree is a big universal family fantasy movie, and it's the longing for adventure, the longing for a family to connect and draw closer. This has informed, so many great books, so many great movies, and it's time to do a new one, a new big one. I think the theatrical experience is so great these days, with amazing sound, Dolby Atmos in there, laser projection, whatever you get. Just like, we need a big new family movie just to wallop everyone in the face with color, laughter, and move them to, and this is what this is.
Well, you mentioned, absolutely, and you mentioned color. And I wanted to ask you about designing the two worlds, because they have very distinct looks. What was the process of building these places?
Well, I wanted to have both variety and consistency, right? So it's a consistency in the approach and variety, so it's never boring, and the lands all feel really different. So I had this idea of Blytopia, which is like Blyton and Utopia, because she writes in a way it's kind of crazy, but it's also about cake. Okay, it's good things to eat and insane stuff happening. So I'm like, well, that's what we got to do. So we had all inside the barn as the family kind of populate the barn and do a kind of Swiss Family Robinson thing on this new place. All the things were real, things that were found, we would get these in. There was no plastic anywhere. And then the lands themselves, as much as possible, I built them so that the kids could experience them. And so that the wonder in their eyes is, whoa, it's actually there. The Land of Goodies, which is kind of a pastel candy world, we made that an edible set. They could actually eat everything and just go around browsing and eating. So everything was edible. Everything was edible. I actually had to stop some of the workers in Candyland serving it just with big fistfuls. So I said, no, look, we're going to eat this. Like, you need to have a scoop. It was just fun to make these silly, imaginative thoughts real, and have a design team and a cinematography team and VFX team just behind me, manifesting this really silly stuff.
So what you're saying is the stealing of the marshmallows was a documentary as a...
Yeah, that was a sort of it's like this kind of cherry blossom ring, and it was like, I study Japanese, I love Japan, and Paul Schrader's Mishima is one of my favorite films. Bit different, but I loved the sets in that, and so I was like, okay, a little bit like that, a little bit Wizard of Oz, and then let's make those marshmallows. And then the VFX guys, captured the way that the marshmallows were so beautifully when they made this sort of, it's a phrase, marshmallow tentacle. Okay, it's a new phrase that's now in your mind. It's never going to leave. Marshmallow tentacles coming for you when you go to sleep. But yeah, we did that. We made a marshmallow tentacles, and it's sort of just part of the world, seamless.
I love that. So I wanted to ask you about magic, because that's such a key theme in this film. And in your mind, do kids still need magic?
Kids need magic. Adults need magic. We all need magic. We can't be too serious. We want to have our breath taken away. Okay, so to try and create a movie that shows both, makes you see and feel what magic is like, and the wonder of that was something I really wanted to do.
Well, I love that. Following that up, though, one of the things Andrew says at one point, I think is so interesting. He says, playing is plenty.
Right.
Can you talk about that? Because it's such an interesting statement here.
There is philosophy and thinking behind what we were doing. I really like Jonathan Haidt and that whole approach of kids taking a bit more risk and getting out there in the world, and how that we don't have to, it's not a lost art, but it's tricky, We all went through a lot of repression in COVID, which is not that long ago, and we suddenly got afraid of going outside and interacting, and we were like, oh, screens, and let's talk to our friends through a screen, and we kind of never got some of that ground back. It wasn't like, now we can go outside and take the masks off, everything's back to normal. It's like, no, they were there, the screens were there, right? They're in schools, people taking laptops to school, it's horrible. So, in a way, we have to, as humans, reassert ourselves over the need for fun and adventure and nature and freedom. And in a way, that's kind of what we're doing here, but not in a preachy way, in a fun way.
Absolutely. There's such a life to it.
Play is important. Play is plenty. I mean, play. You don't. What did you learn? And this Jennifer Saunders playing the German. She gets upset when I say she's German. She's like, I'm not German. I am Swedish. I'm like, it's pretty German Swedish, but like it's you know, she is tradition, right? She wants things done by the book. You know, Jennifer Saunders, amazing actor. I absolutely love her. And Andrew's like, play. He believes in play. He's a playful guy. He's a new kind of dad, right? The movie I did before this was a documentary called Fatherhood about dads, right? And I'm really interested in that. And he's not the breadwinner. He's committed and he's fun and he's there and he's suffering. Okay, he's suffering at the beginning of this film. And he wins at our hearts, Andrew Garfield, with his beautiful emotional performance. And his arc is really the critical arc of the film in some ways. And he's such a wonderful actor.
Well, I'm glad you bring that up because that was actually one of the things that I love about this film. Andrew and Claire are delightful on screen, and Andrew just has this youthful exuberance about himself that just feels honest. You know, you don't always see that.
Andrew Garfield playing Tim, he's got a really lovely vibe and he's really fun, but I really didn't want Claire Foy's character of Polly to be boring. I really didn't want her to be the boring, responsible mom, you know, who's a bit of a trope, right? Of like, oh, yeah, I just wanted her to be like as critical to the whole thing as he is. So she's the design brain. She makes all the stuff. She's like a heroic. She's using all the old design tools and the set squares and the beautiful tracing paper and she's laughing and she's doing the chicken dance together and she's giving him a kiss through the glass and like she's just at ease in the woods. Like the nature unlocks her. And she loves it. She clearly loves it. And there's a beautiful scene where she's talking, you know, the dream binder with the kids. And in a way, it's the most spectacular scene of the movie. It's just Claire Foy acting. Just Claire Foy talking is like so miraculous and beautiful because she's such a good actor that, you know, I really wanted them both to be fun and full of love and amazing on screen.
They really are. I wanted to ask you about that because one of the things that I see before we go is they are very responsible adults. And like you said, Claire's designing these incredible things. Andrew is so full of life as well. But they're balancing that responsibility with this magic, this heart, this magical heart, you know, this youthfulness. And you mentioned before about adults needing magic. So as adults, how do we hold on to that while still walking that line?
Wow, that's a good question. Impulsiveness, you know, kind of like inspiration, making magical memories. These are something we all long to do. You know, we want to use our time here on the planet to kind of make a difference and have a good time. And there's a moment, you know, in they're having a meal and the kids are doing some goofy spaghetti race. And Andrew and Claire share this look of like, it's like, look, we did it. You know, they're connecting with their family. The family are connecting. You know, you start with a meal in silence with the kids just on their own. And you end up with like a goofy, chaotic, messy, much harder to clean up meal for parents among you. But the family's connecting, and that's such a priceless, beautiful thing to portray.
Well, honestly, Ben, it's such a beautiful and fun film. And I really appreciate the chance to chat with you about it.
It's amazing. I really hope it connects with audiences here in Canada.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I hope so too.